Hi students, can you hear my voice?
Yes,
sir.
Hi, good morning. So today, as we planned yesterday, I told you chemistry class is there, but chemistry class is after this class. Now, in the beginning, we will be having botany class today. So Mr. Ganesh, I can say Dr. Ganesh is with me. He has completed his Pharma D, Doctor of Pharmacy, and he has passion in teaching, particularly botany. He is very good in teaching botany. So today he will have a basic introduction class of botany subject. So he is Dr. Ganesh, your botany sir, botany faculty. Okay, Dr. Ganesh.
Yeah. Okay. We'll start the class. I'm here to teach botany. So botany here itself telling it's a study of plants, whereas animals it is zoology. In the plants, in botany, we'll study about plant kingdom. Plant kingdom is also called metaphyta. Metaphyta. The plants mainly they are characterized by performing photosynthesis. So what is photosynthesis? Any organism, I mean plants which are having chlorophyll using sunlight and water and nutrients from the ground, they can produce their own food. Such mechanism is called photosynthesis and such organisms are called autotrophs. Autotrophs. So plants are photosynthetic autotrophic organisms. Other than autotrophics, they are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs, parasites, and saprophytes. So what is heterotrophs? Heterotrophs means the organisms which cannot produce their own food but depend on other organisms for food, water, minerals for their survival. Parasitic is also same thing. Saprophytic is depending on dead and decaying organisms, depending on dead animals, dead plants, dead living bodies, etc. So plants are photosynthetic, autotrophic. They are stationary. Plants can't move just like animals. Most of the plants are multicellular, but exception is unicellular plants. Unicellular photosynthetic autotrophic plants are algae. Are unicellular photosynthetic autotrophic plants are algae, and mostly plant kingdom plants even have an animal character, that is motility. Most of the plants cannot move, but which can move are Chlamydomonas and volvox. These are the organisms which are microscopic, which can move, but belong to plant kingdom. And even plants which not only are autotrophics, some are heterotrophs, like parasitic example, Cuscuta and Rafflesia. Rafflesia, it is the largest flower producing plant which just engulfs anything around it. So it acts like a parasite. It lives on other bodies which cannot produce their own food. And also saprophytic plant, example, Monotropa. Means here the plant is depending on the dead body of an animal or other plant or any living human body. So all the plant kingdoms, all the plants in the plant kingdom are not only autotrophic, they are even heterotrophic, parasitic, saprophytic, multicellular, unicellular, etc. And how plants reproduce? Even plants, they mostly reproduce vegetatively, vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction, and even sexual reproduction. And in the plants, the major distinctive feature of plant to animal is cell wall. Plants have cellulosic cell wall. Cell wall is made up of cellulose, which is a very hard and thick material which differentiate plant cell from animal cell. Because of this cellulose, plant cell is not easily destroyed, whereas animal cell can be easily destroyed. Coming to motility, plants, morphology. What is morphology? The study of structure of various organs of an organism is called morphology. Coming to plant, if you study the external structure, it is external morphology. In an external morphology of a plant, it starts with roots, branches, leaves, any fruits, and buds. Okay. In the plant kingdom, so coming to plant kingdom, a scientist named Etzler, he classified the plant kingdom into various classification, like he classified plants as unicellular and multicellular. In the unicellular, that also plants without embryo. You know embryo, how embryo is formed? Embryo is after formation of a zygote, how just like human body is formed. From the zygote, an embryo is formed. From the embryo, fetus, a newborn baby is formed inside the womb. Just like that, from the seed, in the seed, an embryo is formed, and from the seed, two projections come out from the seed, which is an embryo. This is called plumule. This is called radicle. Radicle develops into root, and plumule develops into shoot system. Means all the branches, and means it goes into air, it goes into the ground. Means root is positively geotropic. Geo means earth. Into the earth it is going. So it is positive geotropic, negative inotropic. I mean phototropic, sorry. Phototropic. Coming to the shoot, it is opposite. It is negatively geotropic. It is going upwards. It's not going into the earth. So it is negative geotropic and positively phototropic. Photo means light. It is going towards light. So it is positively phototropic. So in the classification, without embryo, the classification is algae. Coming to the plants forming with embryos are called embryophytes. Embryophytes. Okay. Again, these algae are again types like chlorophyta, phaeophyta, and rhodophyta. Chlorophyta. Chloro itself, it is telling that it is having green color. Chlorophyll pigment, which is a pigment very important for the photosynthetic process. And plants store food in, that is starch, in the form of amyloplasts. Amyloplasts, chloroplasts, these are very important plastids. So this chlorophyta is nothing but green algae. Green algae. And phaeophyta is brown algae. And coming to rhodophyta, it is red algae. These all are the algae which are unicellular, microscopic, photosynthetic, autotrophic, and forming without embryo. Coming to the embryophytes, these are photosynthetic, autotrophic, macroscopic, and these are forming with embryos, and they are again classified as bryophyta and tracheophyta. Bryophyta means without vascularity. Tracheophyta means with vascular tissues. Vascular tissues means, in our body, in the human body, what is the vasculature? Here the vasculature means all the blood vessels, pipes. In a house, the construction, how the pipes which carry water, electricity acts as a vasculature, which actually very, very important necessity to survive. Just like in human body, our blood vessels carry blood, food, oxygen, essential nutrients to the every part of the body. Means here vasculature plays a very important role. Just like in a plant, all the water, nutrients which are absorbed through the root has to go to the every cell of a plant, every cell of the leaf, every cell of the stem, branch, and fruit. How this is happening? And it also has some pipe system, what we call in the local language, but actually it is called vasculature. The main vascular tissues in the plant is xylem and phloem. Xylem carries water and phloem carries food from the site of production to the site of necessity. And even xylem carries water from the roots to the shoot system. So these are the main vascular tissues which are very important. So all the tracheophyte plants coming under Tracheophyta have vascular tissues like xylem and phloem. In the Bryophyta, again, there are classification. They come here, liverworts, hornworts, mosses. These are the different types of plants. They don't have vasculature, no xylem, no phloem. Means there is no transport system, transport channels to carry food and water throughout their body. Coming to Tracheophyta, they have, and they are again classified as Spermatophyta, Xylophyta. Conifers, nettles. Spermatophyta means here seeds with the seeds. These are the plants without seeds. So here, what is the role of a seed? How seed is playing major role in a plant growth, development, and spreading its offsprings. See, if there is a one plant, from that one plant, how can we produce many other plants of desired quality, same, same yield, same fruit? If you want the same yield for a large number of population on the earth, we have to reproduce it many times. And how it is happening means using seeds. These seeds, we call it as vegetative propagation, vegetative reproduction. So the seed is very important. But these are the plants, they don't have seeds. Means there is no possible of vegetative reproduction in such plants. They have to undergo either asexual or sexual reproduction. Coming to the Spermatophyta, these are the plants, and highly developed plants have seeds. If a plant having seed can have fruit also, means it is very, very useful and highly developed plant. In the Spermatophyta, again, they are divided into gymnosperm, angiosperm. In the gymnosperm, they have seeds, but seeds are uncovered. Uncovered seeds means seeds are left open to the air. Seeds are uncovered. They may fly along with the flow of wind current and air, and they fall on any other surface on the land or any other surface, and they start germinating if the conditions are favorable, and they grow into a new plant. That is gymnosperm. Coming to angiosperm, here seeds are enclosed in fruit. Seeds in fruit means so most of the fruits we eat have seeds. Just like example, guava, papaya, apple, grapes, whatever. So many of the plant, the fruit, inside the fruit we have seed. Means such type of a plant is highly developed, highly evolved. Right from the unicellular plant to a multicellular plant, angiosperm is a highly evolved, highly developed kind of a variety. In the angiosperm, we have all the different kinds of monocots and dicots. Different kinds of monocots and dicots. Mono means single and dicots means two. Di means two. Cotyledons, mono and di means, you know what is a cotyledon? Cotyledon. Have you ever seen a rice grain? Can we divide rice grain into half? We cannot divide. It is completely a single entity, means only mono. Such kind of fruits or such kind of plants producing such grains are called monocots. Coming to a seed of a groundnut, we can make half. So any seed which can be made into half, which are already divided but united and can be broken, are called dicotyledonous plants. All these monocots and dicotyledons. So each entity is called cotyledon. These cotyledons comes under angiosperm, a kind of variety which is highly developed. So this monocots and dicots, they are evolved in such a way that they have a different kind of root system. So coming to morphology of a plant kingdom, in a plant, the first thing to be considered is root. How the root system is working, so that a plant is able to survive, able to produce food, able to transport whatever the necessary nutrients and minerals from the ground to the site of actual necessity. In the root system, roots are evolved. Roots are descendingly growing. They grow into the soil. So they are descendingly growing, positively geotropic, negatively phototropic. They have root caps, root pockets. Just like if you see a diagram of a root, it have root hairs. Here if you see the root cap is there. Okay. So even this root system have been evolved because in the microscopic plants or microscopic organisms, the root system is not really developed. Coming to the plants on the land have a very diverse, differentiated root system, which is really, really necessary to be studied. Here, in the root system, for example, if you consider a particular root, there are three regions in a root system: meristematic region, region of elongation, and region of maturation. Meristematic region means this region where the cells of the root are highly active and they undergo repeated divisions. Repeated divisions means a root is growing because of presence of this particular area, because only these cells will be able to grow, which leads to the growth of a complete root. Means without meristematic tissue or meristematic region, there is no growth in the root. And coming to the part above the root, meristematic region, there is a region of elongation. Here divided cells elongated in the elongation region. And coming to this is the region of maturation. In the region of maturation, we have all the root hairs and all. The root hairs mainly are absent in aquatic plants. Plants not only live on the land, they also live in the water as well. But in the aquatic plants, And in the parasitic plants, root hairs are generally absent. Coming to root modifications, because of different natural calamities happening on the earth, different soil erosion and plants, even they evolved into different kinds of root systems. To survive, they had to modify their root system. Otherwise, they are just dead. So just like that, different kinds of root systems. Just like we have, if this is the kind of root system, we call it as taproot. We call it as taproot. And there is another kind of roots where if this is a stem and roots are like this. It's a bunch of hairy roots, a tuft of roots. This kind of roots are called fibrous roots. Fibrous roots. The first kind of roots is tuberous. Tuberous roots means roots are like tube. For example, there is a plant and the root is so thick, like examples are Daucus carota, carrot, Raphanus sativa, this radish, next Beta vulgaris. So carrot, radish and beetroot, they don't grow on the plant. They are not aerial fruits. They are underground. So if we want them, we have to dig the soil, and then we'll get the carrot, radish and beetroot, such kind of things. Even potato and all, groundnut. So all these plants, why they are growing inside the soil means here in the first year of a plant growth, when the food is produced, all the food is translocated to the root system from the shoot system. First food is translocated. Then again in the second year, food is grown, again the food is grown on the shoot system. So generally the yield of such plants is taken after 1 year. Immediately after first year, we'll get the yield. Means in the agriculture field, in the crop plants, we'll get after 1 year, we'll get carrot, beetroot, radish, etc. So such kind of fruits are called tuberous roots. Means roots are like thick and bulky because the main starch food is mainly in the roots only. Coming to nodular roots. Means roots are having nodules, means thick granules. These granules are nothing but bacteria. Why bacteria is present in the plant roots and what is the use of this bacteria means? This bacteria is nitrogen fixing bacteria. Plant requires high amounts of nitrogen to produce its own food and for its survival. And this nitrogen which is present in the ground has to be fixed into the roots of the plant, and which is satisfied using this bacteria. Those bacteria are called nitrogen fixing bacteria. Example, rhizobium. Rhizobium bacteria is a nitrogen fixing bacteria, and mostly in the leguminous plants, we see rhizobium bacteria. Leguminous plants means all kinds of peas, like green peas, all kinds of pea family comes under leguminous family. They have nodular roots. Means they live in symbiosis. Bacteria and roots of the plant, they live in symbiosis. Symbiosis means benefit for both. Symbiosis or symbiotic relationship means here the bacteria is getting benefited and even the roots of the plant are getting benefited. Coming to the mechanical roots. Mechanical roots are the roots which produce support to the plant. For example, ficus. It is banyan tree. It's a huge banyan tree. If you see, its roots are hanging down, and these they touch the ground and touching. So on touching the ground, it is providing the mechanical support to the plant. So the plant, so such roots are called mechanical roots. Example, ficus and banyan tree. Coming to respiratory roots. Even roots helps in respiration of a plant. So this is respiratory roots. These roots, these mostly such plants grow in water, and roots grow towards a shoot, towards a light, not geotropic, it is phototropic. And such plants, example are Avicennia and Rhizophora. Yeah.
Because they are all silent.
Are you getting my point?
Sampriti is there. Harshita is there. Amrita is there.
Are you getting my point or just listening?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, everyone, I want to listen once.
Yes, sir.
You're
Yes,
getting my
sir.
point? Yeah. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
Okay, sir.
Okay, till now, it is clear?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Sir.
Okay, so can I ask you one question? Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the other name for plant kingdom?
Metaphyta.
Metaphyta.
You're following. Okay. What are two types of root systems?
Taproot and fibrous root.
What are examples of plants which show motility?
Laminodomonas and volvox.
Yeah. Okay. You're getting my point. Next. Next type of roots are parasitic roots. Means they don't produce their own food. They can't do such hard work. They will just depend on others which produce food, and they will survive from that. Examples I have told before, like Cuscuta, Rafflesia, Orobanche. So Rafflesia, it's the largest flower producing plant in the world, and it is just a parasite. It depends, whatever it around its surrounding, it just sucks whatever the water, minerals, nutrients, food from the surrounding plant and organism, etc. Orobanche, it is a parasite. Its roots, it sets for the tobacco plant. So wherever the tobacco plants grow, this Orobanche plant acts as a parasite. Its roots will stretch towards the tobacco plant, and it just sucks all the necessary nutrients, minerals, and etc. all the things from that. So these are the different types of root systems. Coming to in the morphology, the other kind of morphological thing is external morphology of plant. We can see leaf is another external morphological feature. Different leaf modifications are also there. Like leaf can also leaf is a site of food production where the food production starts, and light trapping of light using chloroplast or chlorophyll present in the leaf surface is done there. Photosynthesis is done there. Food production is done. And in the leaf in morphology, if we see, there are veins and veinlets. If this is a leaf, there is a main central vein, mid vein, and there are lateral mid veinlets are present. And in the leaf, if we see microscopically, we call it as cells are called parenchyma. Like different arenchyma, parenchyma, mesenchyma, different names of the epithelial cells of a leaf, and we'll go in detail later. and even leaf is used to produce new plants. Plants are called such things are called reproductive leaves. Example, bryophyllum. In the bryophyllum, what happens is directly we can cut a leaf of a plant and directly we can plant it. So it will grow into a new plant. Example, that is bryophyllum. So like this, that such kind of thing is called vegetative propagation. Means it is not sexual or asexual. It is vegetatively we are producing a new plant. Even root is used. Even part of a stem is used to produce a new plant. Such thing is called grafting or cutting. Example, rose plant, jasmine plant. We can plant like that only. We can take a part of a stem or a branch of a old plant and we can produce a new plant. So like this, in the plant kingdom, we have seen all the morphological, major morphological characters. And yeah, thank you. Have any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
we'll continue the class next day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah, so you're preparing for ICAR.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you tell me the full form of ICAR?
Indian Council for Agricultural Research.
Agriculture research. Okay. How long? From how long you are preparing? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from how long you are preparing? Are you now intermediate second year?
Yes, sir. I'm studying second year of intermediate.
Okay. Okay, fine.